Blair and Brandon.
And are we good on Facebook? Give me a little. Oh, there it is again. Hold on a second. Man almighty.
You're back. At least you're here this week.
Well, I don't understand why it.
I probably screwed something up on the backside.
No, it was good before we started. Deleted on Facebook. There was not deleted on Facebook.
So nobody knows we're on right now.
Well, let's see.
This is about how my day's gone.
All right. Oh, it's still spinning.
Yeah, I'm not seeing live on
there
Facebook.
We go. There we go. Got a green check mark on Facebook. I'll tell you what. All right. I think we're officially live.
Right on. Let's see.
We'll wait for...
Yep, we're good.
Okay. Jeez almighty. Okay, well, now that we just wasted 3 minutes for our YouTube viewers, yeah, we're back again. This is the Throwin Sliders podcast, back again for another episode 65. Call me a slide job, because that came out of nowhere. Throwin Sliders podcast is part of Scrubbin' Tires Media, the #1 racing podcast in the state of Colorado, and thank you all for making that the case. I am Brandon Hall, officially back again this week. We'll get into that after a little while. But yeah, and to my right, the driver of the number 32 ASCS sprint car, Mr. Blair Cooper, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about him tonight. Without further ado, did want to shout out Mark and Samantha Hamilton Motorsports, Hoosier of the Rockies. This episode is brought to you by Hoosier of the Rockies tonight. We could not have done this without them this past weekend in El Paso County. So without further ado, we'll play their ad and get right into the show. If you're serious about performance, whether that's on the track or off-road, you already know having the right components and having them readily available is crucial. And that's exactly where Hoosier of the Rockies comes in. They are the official Hoosier tire dealer of Colorado, which makes it incredibly convenient for local racers to get the tires and supplies they need without the hassle of waiting or traveling out of state. What really sets them apart, though, is that they're not just your typical brick and mortar shop. They're right there in the action, trackside supporting racers when it counts most. Whether you need fresh tires between sessions or race weekends, fuel to keep you running, or critical components like radius rods, rod ends, wheels, and more, they've got you covered right then and there. Don't have what you're looking for? No problem. They can also order you and your team just about anything they stock in various sizes, colors, and specifications. Just let them know. That kind of support can make or break a race weekend, and it's why so many drivers trust them when it matters most. On top of that, Mark and Samantha Hamilton of Hamilton Motorsports bring real experience and passion to everything they do. They understand the demands of racing because they live it, and they're always ready with the right recommendations to keep you performing at your best. They race, you race, so let's race together. If you're looking to stay competitive and fully supported on or off the track, check out Hoosier of the Rockies and see why racers across the region rely on them. Call 303-632-6360. Visit them on Facebook, Hamilton Motorsports Racing, or stopping by locally in Outta, Colorado. Hoosier of the Rockies and Hamilton Motorsports, the proud partner of Scrubbin' Tires Media and the Throwin Sliders podcast. All right. They had a very busy weekend with the sprint cars, the midgets on Saturday. So they were there. We saw them. Everybody saw them. Hopefully you guys, if you haven't met Mark and Samantha and Maddie, I got the pleasure of meeting her this weekend. But yeah, if you didn't get the pleasure, certainly do that next time they're at the track. As you guys saw, maybe at the track, they have everything that you could want right there. You don't have to travel. It's all right there. So Blair divvied in that a little bit, and sometimes that's what matters. So anyways, yeah, we're here. Blair had a very exciting weekend, a long weekend. I'm sure he's exhausted, so we're glad he's here. I'm glad to be back. Sorry, everyone, again for last week, but Blair and Spencer knocked it out of the park, and enjoyed listening to it from the hospital. So great job, Blair. And if you're watching Spencer, it's a pleasure to meet him in person as well at the racetrack. So Blair, how you doing, buddy?
Man, it's you know, that was the first 2 days, and it's finally hot. I think it's on Saturday it got to 93, 94 or something like that. So you know, just just I'm not good with the heat. So, and it's like Colorado. So the dry heat, it's not like going when we go down south or something. But yeah, it put a little bit of a whooping to me. We worked on the car and got it all back together and ready to go the next day. You know, it was kind of funny. I actually forgot to mention it to you. I had a broken valve cover stud from that first night of being in the rubber. They snap off every once in a while. So luckily it was on the top right corner of the valve cover, and it's still sealed up, so it didn't have any leaks. But yeah, you know, just doing maintenance in the morning and get back to it. And finally it feels like summertime. So we're in the thick of it now.
No doubt. Well, I'm sure there were a lot of things going on with the doubleheader weekend. I feel like you always run into stuff, but we'll. I think we should break down a little bit of Friday and then Saturday, and we can kind of get into to everything. But I did have a little something for Blair tonight with his first win at El Paso County. Obviously, very special. So recorded this myself. Blair's already seen it, but for the viewers, kind of cool. Be ground level. So play this, and we'll get right into it.
Or maybe not, because you're winning with the trophy right at the start finish line, number 32, Blair Cooper.
So anyway, congratulations on the win. I know that was getting that monkey off your back. We've struggled. I say we, but it's been a roller coaster ride at that track. You've won heat races, you've won everything there is to win except for the main event, and you got it done. So proud of you for doing that. It was a hell of an effort. We can get into the track prep and that kind of thing, but yeah, just take us through kind of everything Friday related with all what was scheduled, and then it quickly fell apart from the scheduling aspect, and yeah, get into it.
Yeah, it just, you know, I mean, the track kept changing. They were trying to stay on top of it. And, I was kind of surprised they scraped it. It looked like we were going to be able to roll it in. And but anyway, we're supposed to do single car qualifying and everything, which I was pretty excited for. We don't get to qualify that much at some of these places, single car. And I love that. I've done really every time we've been there. I don't think I've been outside of the top 5 at the big shows. Been, a thousandth off. I think Blurton and I split 1-2. So for that big show a couple years ago, but like you said, I've struggled there. So we were like right to heat races, and that's generally the worst thing for me, but we hit it right on the nose. I mean, on setup, pretty close. I ended up second there, but all we wanted to do is when you run with that Southwest Desert Series, I told you we really just need to make the redraw. That's the top 8 guys. So you don't want to lose spots for sure. And if you can pick something up or kind of stick with it and finish in that top 3, you should be pretty good to go when the track's a little bit juiced up. But a little free, started making our adjustments. And then, man, talk about a little bit of luck, too, to go with it. Went to the redraw, got to throw the Frisbees, and they have them turned over. For those that haven't seen it, they got numbers underneath them, 1 through 8. 3 guys got to pick before me since I finished second. And I think they pulled like 3, 4, 2. I mean, it was like all the low numbers. And I was like, oh, here comes an 8. Just my luck at Callahan. And I turned it over and it was a 1. And I made a last second decision to pick a different one. And it was a 1. And, even I think everybody that was up there was like, oh, crap. Because we knew the track was already going to the bottom and it was starting to get some black streaks. And they let you pick top or bottom. And I was like, well, that's an easy one. So then you and I had the conversation. It's just don't screw this up. If the car's decent and it starts getting more and more rubber, that was the position to be in. So a little bit of luck. Car was amazing. I think I had stretched it out to a few seconds there for a while. Couldn't hear anybody. I was like, somebody's got to be lurking there waiting to show me a nose, and with no mirrors or radios. So I actually screwed that up almost there coming to the white flag lap. And I thought, don't do that again, because I got out a little bit. I was like, I'm going to see if they're running up top, I'm going to cut their line off and see if they try to get underneath me. And I probably lost a second there. And but anyway, I was getting the tires hot and everything. So and brakes and everything were getting hot. The track took pretty good rubber. It was vibrating so hard the last 5 laps, it was hard to even see the flag stand when you'd come out of X, and then it'd square up. And so car was just amazing, So thanks to you and Tara and Tom and Rick Lowry on the phone. I think he called me 3 or 4 times, kind of talking about what the track was doing, and
Jason Woods.
Yeah. Oh, and then Jason Woods with the shock. So, I mean, we had a lot of help too. And that's, these guys that I know are like, have expertise in each different little area, helped me just get the car. It was one of the best race cars I've ever driven, especially at Callahan. These bigger tracks set up, you can kind of drive a car around there with it on the bottom like that. It's just, it was really fun. So yeah, a little bit of luck and just not screwing it up. I know Brandon told me right before we went out there, he's like, this one's just in your head, so try to be mentally tough. And I was like, well, I'm borderline, not so smart. So we'll see. But yeah, so
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, no, and from the, I guess the other perspective of, I remember that conversation. I like it was, yesterday. That's a bad analogy because it was only 2 days ago, but I remember it like it was this morning. How about that? Yeah. So Tara's on the four-wheeler. He's in staging. It's taken a little bit for I can't remember what class that was, mods, ahead of the sprint cars main event to get them off the track. And I didn't want to bug Blair. I wanted to kind of have him. I'm sure he was going mentally through his head of all those checks and stuff that drivers do. But the last second, I just went up to him and I was like, it was just like calm before the storm. Like there was, I don't know, maybe Tara could attest to this, but it was like deadly quiet in staging. Like no one's talking. Everybody's teams are in the push wagons or the four-wheelers and no one's talking. So I just went up to Blair and I was like, this is on you, man. Like you have the best seat in the house and make them pass you. And obviously we're given the track conditions, but to Blair's point, a little bit of luck. I literally told him, I was like, do not come off the bottom, make them go around you on the outside, which is not going to happen because of the track that, we were handed essentially, or they're going to have to move you out of the way, uproot you out of the way. And Blair did such a good job of, getting going on the restart and just, hitting his marks for the first, whatever it was, 15 laps in a row. And yeah, to your point, I think you probably had a half a straightaway gap. And that one or two errors that caught up to you almost to your bumper with 2 to go. But anyway, yeah, it was just a kind of a surreal moment. Blair's going already mentally through his head. And, him and I just had this like connection of like, hey, dude, like you got it. Just it's on you. If this is yours to lose, essentially. So anyway, yeah, kudos to the entire team. I didn't do a hell of a lot, but yeah, it was fun.
Grooved up tires. It was funny too, because like obviously that's not a normal show there. When you got guys driving 18 hours, Kelly Miller all the way from Canada, and then teams all the way from Waco, Texas, 13, 14-hour drive. It just and like we had talked with Spencer on the last show, it just adds a little bit of something to it. To where you don't see these guys all the time. And like Grable's a champion. I mean, a lot of really good guys. So that one, I've never crossed the finish line, and it felt like just instantly a weight because it's been really eating me up. I've won there in other classes, but the sprint car, I've been bridesmaid like 3 times, I think, or something like 3 or 4 times out of maybe the 12 times I've raced the sprint car, or 10 there. And it was like it just felt like a monkey off your back. And that was really cool. That was the first time ever I was just like, holy moly. It just felt like I was 50 pounds lighter because it's been eating me up. And it's like, I don't care for the track. We've all talked about that, but also like, I don't like to give up on things. It's like, I'm just not going to get better there. Like, you know how it is.
Yeah.
You just always want to work on it. If you're a race car driver, guys have tracks like that. You just got to keep going. But and then Spencer, he got me the second night, so we can kind of go into that. But yeah, it was fun. I appreciate everybody. I mean, we got so many. I mean, my phone was like unusable for about 30 minutes. So I know a lot of people know I've been struggling there, and it was just really great. And so many people that reach out and wanted to offer help or just a congratulations. So I really do appreciate it from everyone.
Yeah. And I'll on Friday night, we'll kind of end on a funny moment and then a serious moment. So Tara and I, when we pushed you out on the track, obviously you were rolled up, you were starting first, but with everything that was going on, we had you lined up last in staging. So like you were the last to get pushed off and fired up. And Tara was trying to get off, the track to the east side where everybody normally parks. And there were sprint cars buzzing by, push trucks, Danny's flying by, everything. And so she made the last second decision that we're just parking it in the infield and watching it there. So it was a different scene, which was really cool. If you ever get the opportunity, I guess, to stand on those bleachers, because you're just surrounded by the whole thing, which is cool. But my story is when you took the checkered, obviously we hopped on the four-wheeler as fast as we could to get over there, and we parked behind you. So, we weren't in the photo or, all that good stuff. And your wife was like, where's my dad? Where's my dad? So I took off to where he stands at the corner of 4 in the bleachers. And I was like, I don't see him. And lo and behold, Tom he was the first one there. You know what I mean? And he was just boogieing. And I was like, damn, Tom. And you could tell he was excited. So he beat us there, and he was further away. So that was pretty cool. But secondly, that whole desert series, hats off to them. Gary, his wife Jessica, the trophy girl, even like all the people that run, it was for what they were given, obviously the track prep or lack thereof kind of threw them for a loop too. And they were kind of asking the drivers like, what's going on, or the drivers and crew, what's going on. And obviously, as Blair said, they skipped qualifying and kind of just kind of had to make do with what we had. But from top to bottom, obviously we had Spencer on last week, and he's a big advocate for that series. And now we understand why. They run a tight ship, very friendly, very, even in tech, going through Blair, just explaining everything he's doing, why he's doing it, et cetera, just a class act. So appreciate Gary in that whole series. So pretty cool.
Yeah. It was, I didn't get, it's funny. Spencer and I ended up getting to pit together, but I didn't get to talk to him too much because it was like, we were all busy, but he said after the first night, he goes, oh, I owe you a pizza. And he had extra ice the next day, because we had the bet on the podcast. And I'm like, that was a sucky bet for him, because he started out back of the heat race and got strung out. And then it was really down to one lane for that. And I was like, oh man, and then he ended up getting me the second night. So we called it even, but he did supply me with some extra ice. So I was like, hey, this works out. But he's such a good dude. And that was, you never get to talk to guys. It's not, and even like Spencer said, hey, if you want friends at the racetrack, make sure you bring them with you. Cause
seriously. Yeah. But, I mean, he was busy working on some things on his car, but to your point, and then we can officially get into night two, just watching every car. I mean, there was a couple guys that tried to make the, blow the dust off the top. And even in the heat race, I think Gossel tried it early, like lap one, and lost 2 spots. Like it just was not. And, what else are you going to do? Right. It's follow the leader if you don't try something. But yeah, it was just unfortunate track conditions, I guess. But yeah, let's go into night two. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's what I actually, when I started to try, because I could see the lap cars coming up, and I was like, I don't want to be stuck on the bottom and somebody set a pick on me by screaming out. Because when you can't hear a guy out there, that's something. If you've raced, you probably know that when you're coming up on lap traffic, I figured if those guys were kind of laying in wait, that I better be able to see if the car maybe move up even, and a half lane off the rubber was that's when I lost all that ground. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to have to push lap traffic out of the way or get under them or something. Because if you go up there, unless everybody's fighting him. But just kind of funny. I was like, oh shit. That thing went and it was an extra 12 feet up the racetrack and probably took a second off the time.
Yeah.
So and they're going to be fighting that too.
Yeah. I remember like when we were fueling the car, like, how much should we put in? Because we fully expected someone to do at least a single car spin or something, and all the drivers were tip and toe, no cautions. I mean, hats off to all 16 drivers out there. That was remarkable drive, being literally bumper to tail, all 16 or all 20 laps, like, and like I said, to not even have a single car spin was remarkable. So it's hats off to you guys for being what you are in the race car. So anyway, night two, I was not there, unfortunately, but to take us through that.
Well, I did have a replacement for you. In fact, I got to give him a big thank you to Joel Mellon. He ended up showing up.
I've been replaced.
Yeah, I was like, dang it, Brandon's not here, because it's so nice to have, just an extra guy that can, even carry stuff. I mean, we put Brandon to work, but Joel, I've obviously raced with him. He's out in Pennsylvania now, but he came back and was helping us out. So I owe him a big debt too, because he just, he's obviously racing sprint cars all the time. So he was making adjustments for me. He even picked up the nose of the car so we could do bar adjustments without having to jack it up. He's just a gorilla. So.
Well, damn. I need to take my mountain offs.
That's it. So I really appreciated that. But Saturday night, it was kind of the exact opposite thing for me. It got really slick, and I thought it's going to take rubber again, especially with midgets there. I mean, in the midgets, I think they had pretty clean racing too. And we had all the classes. We just, unfortunately, that's kind of, we'd like to cover it more. I didn't get to see much because we're obviously working on the cars. So I know Dwarf Car Nationals and everything. So we thought, as dry as it got after they scraped it again, it was going to take rubber, and it just didn't. So I got washed up in the heat race, got out of line. Couple car, everybody was going to jockey for position immediately because they knew. So unfortunately, on the pill draw there, no qualifying, got washed up the racetrack, lost 3 spots. I mean, they all sucked the stickers right off the car, and fell back and just stayed right there. And that put us towards, I think we were 16th out of 18 or something in the main. And we ended up finishing 15th, I think, or 6th, somewhere right there. So it was so dusty when we threw the green that I could hear all the guys just pedaling the cars. And all I could do was look out of the front window and up at the top of the wings to try to find them with the lights. It was like driving through a tunnel. So everybody was pretty patient there, but I said we might have had 60 miles an hour top speed there for the first 5 or 6 laps. And it was like an accordion, cars just in and out. Every time somebody'd bunch up a little bit, it'd just back us all up. And so really didn't have a terrible car, but yeah, I think 7 through the end of the field were all probably within a tenth of each other. So it was just kind of, except for Adam Trimble, I will say I got his shirt on tonight. He got put to the back. I think somebody made contact with him. He probably shouldn't have gotten sent back there, but either way, he came back through us and his car was tight enough. And on the right rear, I could see that car digging off the right rear and he was able to just drive through him. And I was like, well, this sucks for me, but this is really fun to watch because every time we'd come around, he'd make that car hop a couple spots and man, it was cool to see. And then he also got a midget victory. Did he sweep that? Did he sweep both nights? I know he won one of them.
Yeah, he won Saturday, I thought.
Okay.
But
yeah,
what do you mean
the midget? Both night. Oh yeah, midgets were only there one night. Never mind.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah, okay, so
like,
he won.
No, I don't.
It was. Yeah, I did try to get to see a little bit of midget racing, and I saw another one that Bradley Cox. I think he started like 11th and drove to 3rd or something.
Damn. Yeah.
So I did get to see a little bit of that, but pretty exciting, that midget series. We've talked about them a lot. Obviously, we're a little bit biased to the open wheel stuff, but that was the only other thing I got to take a peek at, and it looked like they put on another good show. So Centennial Midget Series is really it's building because last year, I mean, you would see 5 cars a lot of times, and now they're up to 13, 15, 20 cars in the first couple of races that they've ran. So pretty neat to see that as well. But yeah, that was really my night. We just kind of stuck out where we were. Had a little bit of contact, guys banging around, but nothing serious. Cars all in one piece, and we go to Sweetwater here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, and I was just going to say, I was actually talking to Tom after the race, kind of just talking about our feelings and emotions after seeing you finally get the monkey off your back. And I maybe I cursed you, but I said racing is a very humbling sport, right? And from 24 hours later, you go from being on top of the world to
back of the
bad luck, and track prep again,
and a little bit of my fault too. I missed just a little bit trying to be aggressive there. And I mean, 3 cars go by when you're doing points, passing points, it's funny how, but I really wasn't even discouraged by it because, the car mechanically, everything's working good. So I feel like we've made big strides there. And it's just good to see everybody and have a lot of fun this weekend. That was the whole thing. I was like, we got to get back to having fun. And that was pretty cool. Yeah. Titus said he couldn't even see, he sat down there taking pictures. I couldn't even see your car when you went through all that dust. It was just a tunnel. So yeah. And midgets were only on Saturday, man. I told you it was a long week.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I bet. I can't even imagine. So we had thankfully, first and foremost, Mr. Austin Gossel is okay. We shared that nasty wreck. Golly, man, it's like he ends up on our page for all the wrong reasons sometimes lately. But if you could keep it on all 4s, Austin, that would be much appreciated, because holding your breath every time we watch one of those highlights. But anyway,
you have to go back and check it out. Yeah, he almost cleared the fence. You saw that. I posted more pictures. He almost got over. So he was okay.
The pictures too were just incredible. Like the standstills of it. Obviously, the video was like, holy crap. But the pictures were even like, it was almost like a crane put him there and just he was hanging there. But glad he's okay. But all in all, great weekend. Met a lot of cool people, different people, new people. Spencer, you're not new, but it was good to meet you in person. And like I said, I got to shout out Danny McBride as well. He's always hanging out in the pits and swapping stories and helping. And I do notice, Danny, maybe we gotta do something different, because he's never, that when I'm there, he never actually pushes you off. Like it's somebody else. I'm like, damn, man, like we gotta.
He usually tries, but it was just chaos.
I know. Yeah. It was literally like I said earlier, with all the sprint cars and stuff on the track at the same time getting pushed off, but no, all good. Yeah. What do we want to talk about next?
Well, I just have to say I'm a little bit vindicated with Aaron Reitzel. That guy's just on fire. So if we're going to stick with that, I mean, he's just been torching people. Larson finally got him the other night, but I think I'm going to be in my next.
He got the whole field, not just Reitzel.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but then I saw, Larson wasn't there the other night at Dakota. But I don't know. Yeah. It's in North Dakota, so some native name, but it was a really beautiful racetrack. And dang, that was a hell of a race for a big racetrack like that. Those guys put on a show. So, and then
they're racing
gravel
on.
torn up, and
Racing
the
on
Outlaws.
FS1 right now, high
Oh.
limit series. Yeah.
Well, we'll keep it
So
short so everybody can go watch.
yeah, if you don't, I like that too. It's like
Mhm.
a couple race stint that they have on FS1. So if you don't subscribe to Flow, you can. Well, I guess you got to have cable or something, but nevertheless, it's saves you a subscription to watch a couple races. But yeah, what else? I feel like the weekend really flew by. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was, there's a lot going on right now. And I will say there was something that's been floated around too, that I don't, with that desert series, is that they are opening up the tire rules. I don't know if you saw that with Gary. So when we were talking in the pit meeting, those guys, when they run down there on their home turf or any of those tracks, they're going on, I think they can run any tire they can bring basically, but there's American Racers, Hoosiers. I know they got some from China. I don't know if that's the Dirt X. They talked about that a little bit, but that'll be kind of interesting to see if you go down there and race with them. We talked about going to Sholo and Votto and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting to see. I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to what guys are running. And Gary had said that they were within 1 point on the durometer for an American Racer, and it's like an $80 cheaper tire.
Damn, that's what
it's
we
just
love.
been interesting. Yeah, I see some 360s around the country starting to open that up. Obviously they've got different sanctioning rules and different stuff like that. Now you don't get the money from, the tracks and stuff, or the series won't get the money from one individual manufacturer, but they're really racer centric and focused on that. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic, and I'm going to start keeping an eye on who's winning on what, and what's fast. So
yeah, well, and back to that topic, they just seem like they're poop in a group, for lack of a better term. Like, I had no idea. My father-in-law, I've talked about it throughout the last 6 years on this podcast, being from Roswell in New Mexico and that area, and me hunting down there and stuff like that. But I had no idea racing was it's so big down there. But it's alive and well. And it's unfortunate that we can't get Colorado to match that or keep pace with that. I think it comes down to, what is there, 4 or 5 tracks in New Mexico that are prevalent that they're running on, any given weekend.
Yeah, I think it's probably the split between that and Arizona, because I think they're basically 2 and 2, because that's like Spencer made mention of, as Albuquerque closed down. They made it another motocross track, but you got Sholo, Arizona, Central Arizona. They're putting a lot of money into those places. They've had high limit shows. So you're starting to see it build up a little bit that way. And then, the Northern Plains now. So we're kind of right in the middle, and that is an opportunity to start seeing these guys more and stuff like that. But because obviously if you do 600s, dwarfs, or IMCA classes, there's a lot more places Blaine.
Blaine?
Yeah, there's a lot of classes. Rascal Blaine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was shocked to see you in a scooter, Blaine. We gotta make you quit doing dumb stuff. But to his point, we've nailed on that enough on the podcast. But yeah, to your point, we're in that middle of the Northern Plains having many places to go to, and then the Southern Series having multiple states, multiple tracks to go to. But the only, in my opinion, I think we talked about it ad nauseum over the weekend, is like we have to get more dirt tracks in the state of Colorado. I don't know how to do that other than people that have oodles of money buying property and just building them. We have to take what Gary and these folks are doing in other series and take notice of it, because if we don't do something soon, especially with the rising prices of everything in the world, I hate to say this, but it's quickly going to start dwindling down, right? And that starts from track prep, the facility, promoting, advertising, all that stuff. Like, we have to do something different. And it's cool. Like I said, it's no shot at the Desert Series. Actually, it's quite the opposite. Very, very jealous of what they got going on, and like I said, class act from top to bottom, and they run it just so smoothly. Even when stuff comes up that they can't control, it's like, all right, we're scratching, and Gary's running around in a 4-wheeler telling everybody, hey, we're scratching qualifying. Hey, you're starting here now. Da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was cool to see. Back to my original point, that there is another series equally built and constructed that is what appears to be thriving and doing really well down there. So, and great group of guys. I mean, they were
Yeah.
But
Well, and that's the thing. I think there's going to have to be consolidation between states, as you've seen. So, like, if they've got Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and then we've got guys from Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, something like that, and then you've got North, South Dakota, Montana, and like that. So we see those guys. It's like you can split halves every time, and the more of these like cross promotions, because that was a 3-region race to pull 16 cars together, and when you got guys having to drive 13 hours, it's like they'll do it for the 2-day shows and everything. And the more people know that and actually see, you're going to get big car counts. That's no different with any class. I mean, I don't know what the total count on dwarfs was. I think that hurt them a little bit this year with fuel prices and stuff, but there were still quite a few cars.
I would say 12 at least.
Okay, which is, I think they had 90 at Fort Morgan year before or something like that. So
yeah. Well, and I think you opened a can of worms there, but hearing it, maybe I'll get on my soapbox here a minute. Excuse me, but I'm allowed to. If you are transparent with your purses, and I saw the CMS midget series just posted this right before the podcast, or that's when I saw it anyway, but literally days before the event saying, this is how much first place gets all the way down to 10th or whatever it is. So it's transparent, well ahead of the race. So those folks that are driving 10, 12, whatever plus hours, like, hey, we're not running locally, or regionally for that matter this weekend. Hey, look, this El Paso place, $2,000 to win. Like, and it's a 2-day show. So it's, logistically and financially, it makes sense. Obviously it's going to be expensive, not saying it's not, but there's some incentive there. So I think, to the points there, and I think if I could find my mouse here, Mark Ashcraft of Ashcraft Motorsports made a good point there. Do we need more tracks or just better? Well, I think the latter part of that is just the better part could be being absolute 100% transparent with the racers, the crews, and everything well ahead of time to say, this is how much this event is going to pay. You could do the winner, you could do top 5, top 10, whatever you want to do. And you could even drill it down to here's how much pit passes are going to be for the special event. All those things go a long way. And then obviously, sticking to your guns and what you said to pay the drivers and stuff like that, because all of that kind of goes in a mixing bowl, and it's the ingredient to long-term success of a racetrack and a series. And if you start kind of going off the beaten path on any one of those ingredients, you're going to piss people out. Because like you said, man, like I don't know the numbers you do off your head, how much money you spent this weekend, and it's an hour and a half away. You know what I mean? So
sure.
Yeah, it's further.
Oh yeah. Well, and I think obviously if you're worried about the money, it's probably not the sport for you. Like, you got to be able to afford it and budget for it. But it's
incentivized,
of
right? Of
course. And that's why guys traveled. I mean, it's just funny that even to go, even though that's a normal good purse for a decent race, it's not national tour. It's still like, I'm sure, coming from Canada, you've got just over $2,000 probably in diesel and stuff like that. So yeah, I think Mark's right. Probably better. And I mean, obviously micros, that's 16 local micros. That one's alive and healthy. So maybe even we talk about it all the time, cutting some classes, consolidation, make guys run, some more of what they got. But we've beat that horse to death too. So, I don't know. We don't have the answer, but I know on one of those big shows, that's what they're trying to do. And it was a little bit tougher. I was a little bit surprised the crowds were down. I think that's even hurt the consumer side of it. So it's just going to be a tough year, but, appreciate everybody that comes out and tries, and the crowds even, and the push truck guys. I know it's even like Danny, you've just got everybody trying to help, and it's just getting tougher this year, but we'll keep digging. And it's funny, Austin, he's in here. He said that one didn't even hurt that bad. And I do know the URSS race before that, they were all at 81 Speedway. And I talked to Johnny Booz, and he hit the wall pretty hard. It sheared the rear end, torque tube off, and everything else like that. That 305 race, took an hour or something for the B. And Raider could probably tell us a little bit about it. But I saw a lot of pictures of guys flying out of the park there too. So I talked to Johnny. He was a hurting unit, but we're glad you're all right, Austin. And and Blaine says better run open wheels one night and IMCA another night. Don't need to mix the two. That probably would help keep stuff going. But
that leads me to a couple other points, and I'll end my rant. I'll step off my hypothetical soapbox here. But to quote the late great Jerry Gossel after the race, when everybody was basically packed up, I don't know what was in his cup. We'll call it Kool-Aid for the sake of the podcast. And we were talking about track prep and kind of the ingredients, if you will, going back to that metaphor of making a good race night. And he, mid-sentence, I'm talking, and it's just Blair and I, and everybody's surrounding Jerry. And he goes, "You know what? We're not talking about that right now. We're drinking." And when an old man says that, you just shut the hell up and you just talk about drinking and other stuff. So, but Jerry's a class act, good guy. So
we had a lot of fun this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. With that being said, this is the kind of interaction and everything that we are looking for. Obviously in the comments every single Monday, but we're going to take a moment here because we need your guys' help. And clearly my reel the other day that I posted making a complete idiot of myself, talking about people that stand up early on airplanes, didn't get through. So I'm going to post the mailbag chat link right here in the chat. Here we go. If technology will work. 3, 2, 1. There it is. So all these comments from all of you about, taking this instance of track prep and what could be done better to, make racing better in general, all this good stuff. Please, before the show, anytime you want, it could be 12 a.m. It could be whatever day, whatever time you want. Click on that, send us a line, tell us, hey, this is my opinion. Whatever you want to do, that is your opportunity. We want to interact with you guys more. So that is the link. We post it every single Monday night after the live stream is done. That is what that is for. You can pick on us. You can say whatever you want. If you want to leave your name out of it, just let us know. But we do want to interact and pull those questions, comments on the show. So I will keep doing that until we get some mailbag questions. So I'm going to beat that to death. Also, on that note, we need your help. I thought I stepped off my soapbox, but apparently I have not. Here's our YouTube, not LubeTube. That was weird. YouTube.
That's a different site.
That's a different site. YouTube link to go subscribe to our YouTube page. We have only a handful of subscribers there. And I know if you guys are watching on Facebook, you're not going to watch on YouTube, vice versa. But go, all the content that we share, the videos, they're all on there. Go give them a like, comment, help us grow that page. It's just better analytically for Blair and I, and we appreciate you guys helping to drive this forward. And I've always said it from, I think, the first podcast this year through today, I've done a terrible job about posting and Well, now I'm retroactively trying to make up for that in a sense. So there are the two links. Go submit a mailbag question. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the videos, comment on the videos. Same engagement there. It helps us, and it helps us bring you guys more content each and every week. So appreciate that. Yes, I agree with you, Austin. We need to get Jerry on here. I think we've talked about it.
Yeah, we have. We'll get him on.
Yeah, I don't know if he would be.
He'd be down. He'd absolutely. We might do
All right.
a not suitable for work episode too, because he's a wild one. But
yeah,
that was a lot.
We might have to get the beat button in here, but
how fun.
Yeah, but anyways, appreciate you guys' support there. Please go do those two things on the links there. Again, they'll be posted except the YouTube link, but the mailbag link is posted every Monday night after live episode. So appreciate that. With that, we're going to take a break. I have no idea what we're going to talk about the rest of the show, but we do have to give spotlight to one of our other sponsors of the podcast, partners of the podcast, Mountain Ops. For you guys that did stop by the number 32 trailer this weekend, Blair and I did have samples of Hydrate, one of our favorite flavors, actually. And look at right on cue. Blair's queuing up the old drink. But you guys, we can't stress it enough. It's hot. I saw Mark Hamilton walking around. He's like, dude, this stuff's kick ass, man. Like, it's good. We're not just saying it. It is really good. And I'm also a man of my word, talking about being bad about posting this, that, and the other. I've been saying for the last couple podcast episodes that I was going to get the horchata flavor Hydrate. So I'm a man of my word. Tried it yesterday. It is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to pick on you, Samantha Hamilton, because we were talking about this flavor specifically, and she said she didn't even know what horchata was, which
That's white.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, yeah,
super white.
I
You don't
know,
what
and
horchata is.
I mean, I've had horchata in Wyoming, I think, so that's saying something. But definitely recommend this 10 out of 10 if you like the milk cinnamon rice flavor. It tastes identical to any horchata that you get at a Mexican restaurant or anything like that, but you don't get the sugar and all the stuff with that, and it's hydrate, so you're hydrating at the same time. So anyway, you know what to do. I think it was last week or the week before. We came back out with our podcast link, or excuse me, code for 20% off. So you just literally go to mountainops.com, put whatever you want in the cart, and at checkout, there's a little box there that says promotion code, and you put in TS podcast, all caps, and you'll get 20% off your order. And yeah, it's just a token of appreciation for you guys watching the show, and for Mountain Ops being a partner. So we'll play the ad, and yeah, we'll close out the show with whatever the hell we're going to talk about. Whether you're chasing checkered flags, chasing elk in the mountains, casting a line, or crushing early morning workouts in the gym, there's one name every high performer should know: Mountain Ops. This team fuels athletes, hunters, racers, and weekend warriors with the cleanest, hardest hitting supplements on the market. Let's be honest, this sport isn't for the soft. Late nights in the garage, long drives to the track, and hot evenings in the pits and in the car. We are built different. That's why we run on Mountain Ops. Their supplements hit hard, feel clean, and don't have all that junk you can't pronounce. From early mornings to late nights on race day, this is the stuff that keeps the crew moving and ready for the next lap. Want in? Head to mtnops.com, enter code TS Podcast at checkout, and get 20% off your order. That's right, enter code TSPODCAST at checkout for 20% off your order. You don't just want to show up, you want to win. Fuel like you mean it. Winners use Mountain Ops. Proud supporting partner of the Throwin Sliders podcast. I feel like I got to redo that ad now and get Blair with his win at El Paso. My little outlaw cart win photo from 3 years ago isn't cutting it anymore. I'm a nobody. I'm washed up.
I got Lowry's in here too. After I gotta say it was funny. Let's see what he says here. Let's see if we could show it on. I'm surprised that Blair can fit his head in the camera shot after beating that group of drivers. 10 of those guys were studs, but you know, it was funny. This is so weird now because we've talked about this a lot, but if you're driving the car, it's hard to kind of know sometimes what it exactly needs. And so I'm like, this is so weird. I'm telling Rick on the phone, I call him my dial a crew chief, but I'm on the phone telling him kind of what I feel. He's trying to look
at least 10 times, at least 10 times.
Yeah. He's looking at the racetrack on TV, zooming in, stuff like this. And then we're trying to figure out watching my car go around from that. I'm like, what a weird way to help me dial it in. But I do really appreciate it. I was like, his wife's got to be irritated with me. Calling her, him calling me, we're calling and back and forth. And it's just a really funny way to set up the race car. But we talked about that with Spencer, the technology of kind of being able to do that. And trying to give feedback over the phone is hilarious. And I'm like, this is between me, Tom, Tara, you, just put a ragtag crew.
The Beverly Hillbillies. I mean, I'm going up there taking photos of the track. You're in staging in the car. I'm like, hey, here's what it looks like. You know, but every little bit of information, you know, helps, especially when it changes that dramatically or starts out, you know, the way it did. But the comments are great tonight.
He that's tells me on my own good luck. That's hilarious. So,
well, I did share that information. I went over to Spencer and showed him the photos too. So, I mean, Raider, you can walk to the track and, you know.
I think he's talking about Rick being hey, good luck, buddy.
Yeah. For $5, we'll tell you what Rick said over the phone every race. Oh man.
We need to get Barry in a sprint car, get rid of all the mods, and it's time to go open wheel racing. So
I'm not opposed.
I don't know, man. I don't have anything else. I'm dead out.
No, I think we need to get Blair some rest. That was a long weekend, and get back to it to get the car prepped for Wyoming, as it sounds like it's hailing again. So that's cool. But we did want to announce our next guest from this weekend. We're working out the logistics, but Gary, is it Hewish? Gary?
No. Gwynn.
Jeez Louise. I don't know where Hewish came from. Anyways. Gary Gwynn, hopefully we're saying his name right, the promoter we were talking about for the Desert Series, as my new contact is falling out of my eye, might go blind. But yeah, Gary should be on the show. We talked about it at the track during tech, actually, because Blair passed with flying colors, of course. No at all remote chance of cheating for the 32 machine. So we're chatting it up, and he's going to get on. He's a former sprint car racer himself from years past. So we're excited to kind of understand the ins and outs of the Desert Southwest series a little bit more. So he's going to get on next Monday, whatever day that is. Is that the 15th Monday at 7:30? We'll have Gary on, and we'll pick his brain about maybe how we can, make racing better up here, and he can share some secrets. So, I think that's all we had for tonight. Like I said, we're going to let Blair, rest up and get back to it. So, oh boy.
Barry, that's a wild comments tonight. I almost want to keep going. I don't know if people
I know
Sunday or what's going on, but I know
it's not a holiday, is it?
Nice to see it. Truck and trailer combo. Yeah, that is a nice rig. So a lot of nice rigs there too. I got to go into Saunders' rig. They invited me in, and I was like 5 nose wings, all the top wings. Those guys got it going on. So there was a lot of nice stuff there. I just looking around, and then I go back to our little rig. I was like, if I can find it.
Right. It's buried between all these multi-million-dollar rigs.
Yeah, I was just praying it didn't rain because we couldn't fit the car in with everybody inside. So we pushed it up enough to get the seat so it wouldn't get soaked, or the mag, or the box. But that was fun. So I appreciate everybody that helped us tonight. Be thanking people all day. It's like we just had so much help, and I really appreciate it. So now we just need to get you're gonna have to go to Sweetwater with us. So just tell the wife 2 days back in your home in Wyoming.
Yeah. I'll go right up and tell her, and text you and let you know what she says. I mean, we could probably make it work. Just got to see what's going on. But we appreciate you guys. Like Blair said, all the interaction, not let alone the help. Friday and Saturday night, but all the interaction, come and talk about the podcast and just everything. We always appreciate that. And this is the kind of interaction we want each and every single week. Sounds like Blair's phone is blowing up there too with all the comments.
Oh, they're just all talking shit, and just Raider. I won't even type back. He goes, let's see. Now we could do this till we get off. But he says, I've been plenty fast enough when I go around you, Raider. Just because I'm super slow doesn't mean you're super fast.
Man, this is like a damn comedian all of a sudden. I love it. But we want this every week. We could just do a show where we don't talk about anything. We just see where the comments lead us. That could be a good one.
A lot of fun. That push truck, Danny said that push truck wasn't totaled. It's as close as you could get without, for those that don't know, there'll probably be some pictures out there. They were sliming up the track, trying to get it rolled in, and the water truck rolled down into a push truck. And
oh, man. I mean, you can't make that up. You might see that on like a top 5 moment of the week if that was recorded.
Oh,
I hope. Yeah,
it's sad, but
yeah, it's not good. But man, anyway, we'll be back again live next Monday. So drag your butts back on here live, YouTube, Facebook, live, and then obviously go listen to us whenever we publish it. So we appreciate you guys each and every single week, and we'll be back again next week. But it was good to be back with Blair, taking a week off. But appreciate you guys, and see you next time. Keep throwing those sliders.
Yeah.
This was another production of Scrubbin' Tires Media. The Throwin' Sliders podcast is hosted by Blair Cooper and Brandon Hall. Video and audio was created by Bryce Holcomb. Please like, share, and leave a 5-star review. And as always, keep throwing those sliders.